Bassline shimmer on a tinted brick, marking each beat with the fading flick. Drum hits crawl in a fractured groove, guiding our steps with a rugged move. Street lamp halos breaking the rings, spilling faint glimmers on everything. Hands draw symbols in the shift and flare, tracing the rhythm through the dusty air. Alley current burns and climbs, dragging our steps in double time. Warm sparks scatter from the steel, marking the groove we always feel. Turntable heat breaks through the haze, draw new fire through the maze. Wild echoes bend and bend, never knowing where they end. Let that rhythm lock and twist, pull each echo through the mist. Raise emotion, feed the flame. Alley sparks never move the same. Turntable alley sparks, light to spin. Groove cuts deep where the shadows begin. Brass bursts bright in a crackling flame, stepping bold rhythm with a no-name claim. Turntable alley sparks, shaking the night, pulling each heartbeat into the light. Skylight fragments drift overhead, painting soft traces in copper red. Footsteps carved through the alley floor, casting warm pattern forevermore. Bassline rolls with a gritty bend, shaping each second from end to end. Drum tap shuffle in a crooked beat, filling the alley with the heat on heat. Sunset bleeds with the molten trace, turning the alley to a glowing space. Guitar snaps bright with the razor grin, cutting wild sparks as the grooves begin. Hands wave high in a fearless stance, calling the alley to join the dance. Turntable hum grows fierce and wide, pulling the whole block to the alley side. Last spark rising with the silver gleam, running along walls like a living stream. Echoes crawl upward in the burning glide, merging with footsteps side by side. Groove folds tighter in a heavy frame, etching the alley with this flame. Turntable memory blazing sharp, born from the alley's deepest spark. Turntable alley sparks, light to spin. Groove cuts deep where the shadow begin. Brass bursts bright in a crackling flame, stepping bold rhythm with a no-name claim. Turntable alley sparks, shaking the night, pulling each heartbeat into the light. Long after footsteps fade from view, those alley sparks still follow you. Turntable whispers in the dark, leaving behind a glowing mark. Midday groove parade, we roll the boulevard. Sun hits heavy, but the rhythm hits hard. Brass line soaring with a summertime shout. Everybody swaying when the beat breaks out. Midday groove parade, no turning back. Boots mark patterns in a shimmering track. Heat wave shimmer on the storefront glass. Crowd drifts slow as the minutes pass. Shadows stretch long in a sidewalk bend, marking the rhythm we can't defend. Steel frame towers echo our stride, bassline pumping like a rising tide. Hands clap loud in the backbeat ring, sending out signals that the new bells sing. Move that body with a sunlit shift, feel that energy rise and lift. Snap to the pattern with a bold charade, join this wild midday parade. Midday groove parade, we roll a boulevard. Sun hits heavy, but the rhythm hits hard. Brass line soaring with a summertime shout. Everybody swaying when the beat breaks out. Midday groove parade, no turning back. Boots mark patterns in a shimmering track. Vendors lifting covers on the silver tray, serving both flavors through the dusty haze. Kids spin hoops in the courtyard heat, keeping the steps in a bouncing beat. Guitarists flicker like a polished blade, cutting clean pathways through the midday shade. Cloth banners flutter with vibrant tones, rattling faintly like ancient bones. Parade spills wide on the central street, dragging each heartbeat into the heat. Hats tossed high as the rhythm expands, sinking with all the moving hands. Highs and flickers with the gleaming line, shaking the dust in the radiant shine. Voices rising with the soulful spray, coloring every passing sway. Move that body with a sunlit shift, feel that energy rise and lift. Snap to the pattern with a bold charade, join this wild midday parade. lights blink in a scattered rhythm, guiding our movement through the city prism. Sidewalk chalk draw symbols on stone, marking each dancer as they claim their zone. Dust cloud rings form a hazy crown, floating above the parade downtown. Shining accents on the trumpet's flare, carving wild sketches in the midday air. Speakers rattle gently with the vinyl roar, throwing old school fire from a corner store. Drum tracks rolling with the tight control, shaping the sway of a restless soul. Sun glints harsh on a polished chain, reflecting our steps like a mirrored lane. Crowds keep merging with the glowing pride, pumping the pulse with the fearless stride. River of motion through a melting street, boots keep clapping in a heavy heat. Hands draw circles in a mid-dead trace, guiding the rhythm with a steady pace. Groove keeps rising like a midday tide, pulling us deep to the other side. Last verse blazing in a final arc, leaving warm streaks in the bright daylight spark. Midday groove parade, we roll the boulevard. Sun hits heavy but the rhythm hits hard. Brass line soaring with the summertime shout, everybody swaying when the beat breaks out. Midday groove parade, no turning back. Boots mark patterns in a shimmering track. The shadows shorten in the radiant sheen, the pulse stays echoing through every scene. Midday groove parade. Electric sidewalk strut, we spark the avenue. Feet snap quick, rhythm pushing us through. Voltage in the pavement, shining in the heat. Funk's in motion every time our souls meet. Electric sidewalk strut, the city starts to roar. We lift that groove and demand a little more. From the concrete seam, horn shout blow like a fever dream beam. Leather shoes tapping out coded replies, every step a signal underneath bright skies. Sunburst shimmer on a passing chrome rail, baseline thumping like a runaway mail. Hands wave loosely celebrating the spin, crowd edges closer when the beat pulls them in. Side block humming like a coiled up wire, every pulse bouncing with the growing desire. No haze, no doubt, just a radiant spark. Vibe cuts clear through the city's mark. Electric sidewalk strut, we spark the avenue. Feet snap quick, rhythm pushing us through. Voltage in the pavement, shining in the heat. Folks in motion every time our souls meet. Oh, electric sidewalk strut, the city starts to roar. We lift that groove and demand a little more. Singing with metallic pans, shadows shift freely like improvised plans. Warm brass hollers with the bold insistence, crowd sways back without any resistance. Back pockets wagging in a tight line suit, snare pops crisp as a one-shot salute. Old school cadence shooting sparks to the ground, you can feel the echo when the chorus comes around. Hands up high as the rhythm breaks wide, heel slide shuffle shifting side to side. Every breath blowing in a midday blast, we chase that groove until the doubts fade past. Under strip light shadows motion grows, waves of heat shimmer as the sidewalk glows. We ride that charge till our hearts unlock, nothing stops occurring once we shock that block. Side block humming like a coiled up wire, every pulse bouncing with the growing desire. No haze, no doubt, just a radiant spark. Vibe cuts clear through the city's mark. Electric sidewalk strut, we spark the avenue. Feet snap quick, rhythm pushing us through. Voltage in the pavement, shining in the heat. Folks in motion every time our souls meet. Oh, electric sidewalk strut, the city starts to roar. We lift that groove and demand a little more. Neon flickers softly as shadows depart, but the strut keeps walking deep inside the heart. Electric down the transfer line. Guitar cut sharp with a sideways spark. Lighting faint trails in the creeping dark. Shift that tempo into full release. Crosstown motion never sees the cease. Feel that transfer in a surging climb. Pulling the city into perfect time. Crosstown funk transfer, changing lanes. Groove rides heavy on electric train. Blast bright with a roaring flare. Launching wild echoes through open air. Crosstown funk transfer, fast and clear. Dragging that fire from here to here. Station door shut with a warm exhale. Casting straight dust through the tempered rail. Boot strike sparks on the iron plate. Rolling each movement at a driving rate. Crowds blend softly in a smoky drift. Shifting their weight with a subtle lift. Drum breaks scatter with a frantic pop. Pushing the tempo with a jagged hop. Shift that tempo into full release. Crosstown motion never sees a cease. Feel that transfer in a surging climb. Pulling the city into perfect time. Crosstown funk transfer, changing lanes. Groove rides heavy on electric trains. Splash bright with a roaring flare. Launching wild echoes through open air. Crosstown funk transfer, fast and clear. Dragging that fire from here. High-rise shadows twist in a tapering bed. Echoing signals down the city's edge. Bassline crawls with a glowing sweep. Pulling the crosstown, grooving deep. Hands rest burst in a broken arc. Spreading new sparks through the rail yard dark. Crowd shape shift in a mirrored slide. Moving their way to the transfer stride. Railway currents flicker in a coded tone. Sending wide shivers through steel and stone. Hands reach outward in a turning sway. Pulling the pulse through the transfer way. He climbs higher in a surging way. Marking each heartbeat loud and brave. Crosstown fever rising slow. Beating the tracks with the molten glow. Shift that tempo into full release. Crosstown motion never sees a cease. Feel that transfer in a surging climb. Pulling the city into perfect time. Crosstown funk transfer, changing lanes. Groove rides heavy on electric trains. Splash bright with a roaring flare. Launching wild echoes through open air. Crosstown funk transfer, fast and clear. Dragging that fire from here to here. Late hour echoes scatter down the rail. Dragging warm shimmers through the inner trail. Metallic tones buzz with a static gleam. Merging faint chords with the night's regime. Footsteps circle in a looping spin. Guiding the rhythm from deep within. Crowds thin out but the groove stands firm. Marking its pattern in a timeless turn. Final sparks sliding through the iron grid. Driving the funk where the shadows hid. Hands rise slowly in a drift and swell. Pulling the transfer like a private spell. Tempo settles in a rolling heat. Merging each moment with a steady beat. Crosstown rhythm drawing near. Letting the pulse from ear to ear. Crosstown funk transfer, changing lanes. Groove rides heavy on electric trains. Splash bright with a roaring flare. Launching wild echoes through open air. Crosstown funk transfer, fast and clear. Dragging that fire from here to here. Even when daylight breaks the steel. Oh, that crosstown rhythm remains real. Transfer running through every line. Yeah, marking the city with its funk design. Way, baseline roll a hustle, hit that spin. Groove rolls deep where the beats begin. Thunder wave blowing, shaking the block. Hands jump high when the rhythms knock. Baseline roll a hustle loud and clear. Dragging that fire through atmosphere. Shadow slick pavement curves underfoot. Marking each pattern the hustle put. Bass chords thick with a smoky drag. Pulling out stride in a heavy sag. Guitar files back with a bright cut sting. Ripping wild shapes like a copper wing. Steel door echoes magnify the tone. Sending deep pulses through the trembling stone. Lift that motion with a rolling slide. Line up tight for the bass to guide. Leaning closer as the low end wrestles. Join the call of the roller hustle. Baseline roller hustle, hit that spin. Through rolls deep where the beats begin. From the wave blowing, shaking the block. Hands jump high when the rhythms knock. Baseline roller hustle loud and clear. Dragging that fire through atmosphere. Street lamp halos cast a molten ring. Shining faint hues on the moves we bring. Boot step steps, my grooves with a heavy tilt. Dragging slow sparks with the rhythms built. Old school echoes crackle down the trail. Snare hits snapping in a tight derail. Hands form symbols with a glowing twist. Weaving each step through a dancing mist. Rolling for searching in a deep incline. Pulling each dancer into double time. Bass curls upward in the violet sweep. Hammering patterns that never sleep. Groove keeps rising with the jagged burn. Forcing each heartbeat into return. Roller hustle rolling through the steel. Marking the city with a raw cut feel. Lift that motion with a roll and slide. Line up tight for the bass to guide. Leaning closer as the low end wrestles. Join the call of the roller hustle. Baseline roller hustle, hit that spin. Groove rolls deep where the beats begin. Thunder wave low wind shaking the block. Hands jump high when the rhythm's knock. Baseline roller hustle loud and clear. Dragging that fire through atmosphere. Sunburn colors melt along the ridge. Painting reflections off an iron bridge. Crowds form clusters at the corner square. Drawn to the rumble humming in the air. Guitar riffs sharpened like a flashing blade. Cutting the tension in the midday shade. Pulse keeps rolling in a broadened arc. Pushing heat deeper through the urban dark. Traffic hum syncs with the rumbling groove. Pulling each body into subtle move. Brass line streaks in a soaring call. Shaking lost echoes from the metal wall. Bass drags harder in a molten drop. Forcing the block into a 30th hop. Heat spreads out within a pulsing ring. Crowning the hustle like a neon king.
Last push breaking with a glowing roar. Sending fierce tremors across the floor. Hands shoot skyward in a wide display. Pulling the roller toward the final sway.
Baseline thickens with a booming wave. Stamping the moment in the moves we crave. Hustle climbs higher in the fading light. Shining its fire deep into the night. Baseline roller hustle, hit that spin. Groove rolls deep where the beats begin. Thunder wave low wind shaking the block. Hands jump high when the rhythms knock. Baseline roller hustle loud and clear. Dragging that fire through atmosphere. When the glow dims down in the cooling dust, oh, the roller still hums in a smoky buzz. Baseline roller hustle, etched in stone. Pumping forever in the streets we own. in a wide stretch arc, cutting clean signals through the dark. Bassline rumbles in a rising ring, throwing vibrations on everything. Final hit pushes with a lifted blow, marking the moment as the sparks all grow. Grip that tempo, twist it tight, guide the shuffle through the faded light. Rhythm wrangler, calling with a rough edge sound, leading each heartbeat underground. Rhythm wrangler shuffle, carving through the zone. Groove flows heavy like a cut stone bone. Brass lines rising with a sunlit roar, rolling both shadows across the floor. Rhythm wrangler shuffle, loud and mean, driving that motion through the midday scene. Oh, bright warm posters flapped in a dusty spin, sensing their motion with the truth within. Late day skyline melts in a molten glaze, casting long streaks through the alley haze. Guitar cracks sharply in a sideways burst, pulling each dancer into something fierce. Shuffle grows harder with a drawn out grind, leaving wide marks on the urban mind. Wind curled echoes drip from the square, filling the street with a furnace glare. Tempo sprints forward in a double throw, hammering footprints through the glow. Last steps flicker like sparks on stone, marking the rhythm as a force of its own. Wrangler shuffle climbs the ridge, stamping them a pulse like a mountain bridge. Rhythm wrangler shuffle, carving through the zone. Groove flows heavy like a cut stone throne. Brass lines rising with a sunlit roar, rolling both shadows across the floor. Rhythm wrangler shuffle, loud and mean, driving that motion through the midday scene. When the alley cools and the echoes fall, the shuffle keeps whispering through it all. Rhythm wrangler, steady and rough, never enough of that wrangler shuffle. Sun climbs high in a blinding arc, painting bold shadows on the city's mark. Pocket move a stride with a measured glide, letting the rhythm take its rightful ride. Hands slick right like a summertime sign, tracking each pulse through the baseline line. Boots that draw patterns in a gentle sway, guiding the groove through the heat of day. Hold that center, make it tight, pocket move a lock just right. Sun high, rhythm cutting through, feel that motion pulling you. Sun high, pocket movers, roll that flame. Groove drifts golden in the midday frame. Brass bursts bright with a summer cry, lifting each heartbeat toward the sky. Sunlight, pocket movers, slow and clean, washing warm light through the open scene. Sidewalk gleams in a mirrored shine, reflecting our steps in a tempered line. Bassline hums with a mellow sweep, rolling soft echoes through the city deep. Hand wet slam with a velvet stroke, forming silhouettes through the rising smoke. Guitar snaps clean with a subtle grin, shaping the breeze as the grooves begin. Hold that center, make it tight, pocket movers lock just right. Sun high, rhythm cutting through, feel that motion pulling you. Sun high, pocket movers, roll that flame. Groove drifts golden in the midday frame. Brass bursts bright with a summer cry, lifting each heartbeat toward the sky. Sunlight, pocket from side to side. Side high, shimmer, pace delay. Tight knit pulses reach the strain. Hands tilt upward in a lazy arc. Drawing the groove from light to dark. Pocket movers guide the flow, keeping the heat steady and low. Rhythm melts in a flowing glide, pulling the whole day to the pocket side. Hold that center, make it tight. Pocket movers lock just right. Sun high, rhythm cutting through. Feel that motion pulling you. Sun high, pocket movers roll that flame. Groove drifts golden in the midday frame. Brass bursts bright with the summer cry, lifting each heartbeat toward the sky. Sun high, pocket movers, slow and clean, washing warm light through the open scene. Late day sunshine cools its glow, slowing the tempo to a gentle flow. Crowd shifts softly with the drifting ease, floating like dust in the amber breeze. Hands curve downward in a sweeping trace, guiding the rhythm with a softened grace. Pocket stays glowing in a mellow cast, holding the warmth till the sunlight's past. Shimmer rolls low in a molten thread, tracing warm past the daytime lead. Pocket hum rising in a final sweep, gathering whispers from the city deep. Hands form signals in a closing ring, calling the moment to softly sing. Heat drips outward in a fading slide, leaving the groove on the pocket side. Sun eye, pocket move. like iron bells. Call that voltage through the core. Flashpoint heat demands much more. Let the rhythm burn and fly. Raise that signal to the sky. Flashpoint groove, rally like that spark. Rhythm ignites in the beating dark. Brass lines blazing with a streetwise roar. Crowds step closer when the pulse is sore. Flashpoint groove, rally, hold that flame. Ripping wild echoes through the inner frame. Yeah, sidewalk dustbins in a tinted air. Dancing in sunlight, drifting dark. Yeah. Bass curls deep with the molten growl. Yeah. Hammering patterns through the urban howl. Hand pad burst in a syncopated spin. Falling like sparks on the copper skin. Yeah. Crowds swell tighter in a circle ring. Yeah. Carrying the rally through everything. Sun dips slow with a crimson bite, spreading gold streaks through the fading light. Groove leaps higher in a jagged cloud, kicking the skyline out of time. Horn blast punch with a bright cut cry, shaking the day in the searing hot. Flashpoint heat spreading fast, stepping each second into the past. Bird line rises in the final glow, surging through motion in the tidal flow. Hands are wide in a trembling sweep, pulling the rally from deep to deep. Tempo storms forward with a fierce display, crushing the daylight into clay. Flashpoint wave explodes and then pulls itself back to rise again. Flashpoint groove, rally like that spark. Rhythm ignites in the beating dark. Yeah. Brass lines blazing with a streetwise roar. Crowds step closer when the pulse is sore. Flashpoint groove, rally, hold that flame. Ripping wild echoes through the inner frame. Even as silence cools the air, that rally's heartbeat lingers there. Flashpoint groove, burning slow, pushing its fire wherever we go. Double time funkin' from that wire. Groove lights up like an open fire. Brass lines bursting in a razor tone, charging each heartbeat down to the bone. Double time funk circuit, hold that speed. Power keeps flowing through the moves we need. Street grid pulses with a steady hum. Boot steps land like a rolling drum. Steel frame rails echo sharp and thin, guiding our motion as the sparks rush in. Sidewalk glimmers with a copper shine, tracing our footwork like a coded sign. Hands drift upward in a staggered ring, matching the circuit as the frequencies swing. Windows patterns in a tight rotation, fuel that pace with a bow sensation. Lock the rhythm in a quickened route, follow the charge when the sparks break out. Run that wire, groove lights up like an open fire. Brass lines bursting in a razor tone, charging each heartbeat down to the bone. Double time funk circuit, hold that speed. Power keeps flowing through the moves we lead. Metro line hum cutting under our feet, joining the beat in a fused heartbeat. Guitar snaps bright with a fractured bend, shaping each moment like a vinyl blend. City line shadows curl across stone, weaving their shapes through the metronome zone. Fresh heat rises from a neon chain, swirling the rhythm through the inner lane. Circuit arcs high with a sudden spark, painting wild patterns through the dark. Hands twist sharply in a coded flow, pulling the tempo where the currents go. Pulse climbs quick in a wild incline, dragging our footsteps into double time. Groove keeps folding into finer turns, stoking the circuit till the whole block burns. Wind those patterns in a tight rotation, fuel that pace with a bow station. Lock the rhythm in a quickened route. Follow the charge when the sparks break out. Time funk circuit, run that wire. Groove lights up like an open fire. Brass lines bursting in a razor tone, charging each heartbeat down to the bone. Double time funk circuit, hold that speed. Power keeps flowing through the moves we lead. High-rise shadows tilt with a trim and twist, throwing faint glimmers through the morning mist. Crowds lean forward with a hungry gaze, following heat through the winding maze. Snare hits chatter in a narrow stitch, driving the circuit through each tight switch. Hands carve rhythms in a glowing band, leaving bright traces where the currents land. Late day glimmer burns on fractured glass, beaming reflections as the dancers pass. Bassline curls with a molten push, roaring beneath the downtown hush. Groove runs upward with a rising glide, pulling our strides to the outer side. Circuit hum swelling like a climbing roar, shaking loose sparks from the urban floor. Final burst trembling in the fading light, charging the block with electric might. Hands rise slowly in a shifting arc, guiding the circuit through the fire-marked dark. Tempo rolls forward with a heated spin, pulling the last wave from deep within. Double time heartbeat hits the crest, stamping the city with it glowing crest. Double time funk circuit. Double time funk circuit. Double time funk circuit. Run that wire. Double time funk circuit. Oh no. Double time funk circuit. Run that wire. Double time funk circuit. Double time funk circuit. Run that wire. Groove lights up like an open fire. Brass lines bursting in a razor tone, charging each heartbeat down to the bone. Double time funk circuit, hold that speed. Power keeps flowing through the moves we lead. Oh. Even when silence claims the street, that circuit rhythm keeps its beat. Double time echo in the hidden glow, rumbling steady everywhere we go. Uptown pole slammer hit the line. Groove jumps forward with a bold design. Hands rise high as the brass tears through, lighting up pavement in a neon hue. Uptown pole slammer, shake that rock. Every loud heartbeat lands like a shot. Side street mirrors gonna blazing sweet, catching our stride in a restless sleep. Warm tone jackets flutter in the breeze, carving bold lines through the moving seas. Drum snap tight with a crisp reply, echoing sharp through the open sky. Crowds part slowly with a knowing grin, feeling the pulse as the sparks rush in. Heat keeps rising through the uptown flare, groove breaks wide in the summer air glare. Sharp step rhythm with a heavy slammer, sounding the call of the uptown hammer. Uptown pole slammer hit the line. Groove jumps forward with a bold design. Hands rise high as the brass tears through, lighting up pavement in a neon hue. Uptown pole slammer, shake that block. Every loud heartbeat lands like a shot. Steel cut windows cast a shifting glow, painting our shadows in a bold tableau. Bass curls thick like a molten rope, pulling each dancer to a hanging slow. Guitar rings bright with a jagged cry, firing quick sparks the midday sky. Footsteps flash with a staggered shot, marking each beat in a glowing nod. Flares of motion sweep across the lane, stomping out tension like a driving rain. Hands trembles in a rising spin, pulling wild echoes from deep within. Groove surges harder in a widening blast, burning through silence as the minutes pass. Uptown energy scattering wide, dragging our strides to the other side. Heat keeps rising through the uptown flare, groove breaks wide in the summer air glare. Sharp step rhythm with a heavy slammer, sounding the call of the uptown hammer. Uptown pole slammer, hit the line. Groove jumps forward with a bold design. Hands rise high as the brass tears through, lighting up pavement in a neon hue. Uptown pole slammer, shake that block. Every loud heartbeat lands like a shot. Hollow brick corners catch the rounded sound, sending warp echoes through the uptown ground. Traffic lights shift in a staggered blink, matching the cadence and the way we think. Crowds warm laughter spills across stone, folding each chorus into one big tone. Footsteps dig with a sharpened sway, turning each moment into dinner clay. Late day shimmer in a copper burnt streak, slicing the skyline with a radiant leak. Back alley colors bleed into view, swirling bright pigments in amber blue. Drumline stutters with the old school frame, carving deep signatures in the city flame. Pulse keeps thumping in a zoned out form, raising its roar like a gathering storm. Hands strike coupled with a fierce release, groove caught the moment in a crimson crease. City hum trembles in a fractured climb, matching our motion in a double time. Uptown spurring to sets the tone, pumping raw power through the stone. Slammer burst rolling through the final wave, dragging each step to the groove we crave. Uptown pole slammer, hit the line. Groove jumps forward with a bold design. Hands rise high as the brass tears through, lighting up pavement in a neon hue. Uptown pole slammer, shake that block. Every loud heartbeat lands like a shot. Long after twilight seals the day, that uptown rhythm will never stray. Uptown pole slammer, loud and true, burning forever in the hearts it drew.
Yeah, and he's willing to travel with us. Ooh, yeah. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Oh. Top coat swinging in a bright cut breeze, swagger groove rolling with careless ease. Footsteps slide with a polished intent, shaping the sidewalk wherever we went. Hands glide smooth in the rhythmic curl, tracing the outline of a swagger world. Baseline grins with a confident glow, pushing each motion in a steady flow. Tilt that frame with a clean cut move, let the rhythm sharpen your groove. Swagger rising with a firm set stance, pulling the block into your dance. Top coat swagger groove, walk that line. Pulse hits heavy in a bold design. Brass cracks bright in a fearless stroll, casting wild shadows in a golden glow. Top coat swagger groove, clean and proud, cutting our way through the midday crowd. Hey! Hey! Sidewalk mirrors catch a swing and sway, throwing faint glimmers through the day. Guitar strokes snap in a clear-cut slice, marking each turn with the bitter spice. Traffic drip comes in a smooth reply, matching the twist in the way we glide. Pocket stays deep with a ruler's pride, holding the rhythm on either side. Tilt that frame with a clean-cut move, let the rhythm sharpen your groove. Swagger rising with a firm set stance, pulling the block into your dance. Top coat swagger groove, walk that line. Pulse hits heavy in a bold design. Brass cracks bright in a fearless throw, casting wild shadows in a golden glow. Top coat swagger groove, clean and proud, cutting our way through the midday crowd. Yeah, yeah. Woo! improve. Bass curls low with a slide-shaped grin, sliding warm tension across the skin. Drum hits flexing a broken stitch, lifting the groove to a higher pitch. Hand shift outward with a quiet roll, pushing smooth pressure through the soul. Swagger twists upward in a heated climb, tight cut rhythm stepping out of time. Shadows extend in a growing arc, driving bright echoes through the dark. Groove move forward in a tightened sweep, dragging our stride into something deep. Top coat flare cuts through the heat, step in the pavement with a ruler's beat. Tilt that frame with a clean cut move, let the rhythm sharpen your groove. Swagger rising with a firm set stance, pulling the block into your dance. Top coat swagger, walk that line. Pulse hits heavy in a bold design. Brass cracks bright in a fearless throw, casting wild shadows in a golden glow. Top coat swagger, clean and proud, cutting our way through the midday crowd. Afternoon blaze spreads a golden sheen, coloring footprints in amber green. Guitar bands warm with the mellow burn, turning each moment into our turn. Hands push shower with a drifting grace, shaping the warmth of the fading space. Swagger stays shining with the concept pride, guiding the groove through the city wide. Last wave shimmer rolling slow, painting sweet tones on the streets below. Tempo dips softly in a glowing sweep, pulling the swagger in smooth and deep. Hands frame signals in a silver line, closing the groove with a simple sign. Rhythm holds steady like a lasting groove, marking the legend of the swagger groove. Top coat swagger groove, walk that line. Pulse hits heavy in a bold design. Brass cracks bright in a fearless throw, casting wild shadows in a golden glow. Top coat swagger groove, clean and proud, cutting our way through the midday crowd. Even when night pulls the city tight, that swagger groove still burns bright. Top coat rhythm never fades, carving its mark through all our days. Oh, 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 night breeze try to flow, move that line. Cool air cutting through the city spine. Brass birds glowing in a moonlit frame, filling the alleys with a burning flame. Night breeze try to flow, clean and fair, riding that rhythm till the midnight's past. Soft lit pavement shivers underfoot, marking faint trails where our shadows put. Warm bass humming with a low end slide, pulling each hopping to the outer side. Hands glide loosely with a silver flare, tracing faint patterns in the drifting air. Guitar snaps bright with a twilight grin, flicking wild sparks as the night kicks in. Roll that motion through the glow, follow where the breezes go, let the rhythm twist and grow. Night breeze try to take it slow. Night breeze try to flow, move that line. Cool air cutting through the city spine. Brass bursts glowing in a moonlit frame, filling the alleys with a burning flame. Night breeze try to flow, clean and fair, riding that rhythm till the midnight's past. Corner store neon flickers in a sweep, casting soft halos where the currents creep. Boot steps echo with a staggered beat, sliding warm echoes down the narrow street. Old brick walls breathe a nighttime sigh, letting faint whispers drift up high. Hands wave signals in a subtle spin, calling the breeze as the grooves begin. Nightfall motion curls and climbs, dragging our stride in double time. Wind hits lightly with a velvet kiss, pulling the beat into gentle bliss. Strider moves forward in a glowing arc, painting soft trails through the dark. Groove rolls deeper in a drifting flow, woven in brass where the breezes go. Roll that motion through the glow, follow where the breezes go, let the rhythm shadows from alley dust. Bass curls tighter with a drawn out slide, guiding the flow with a steady stride. Guitar twirl softly with a lilting ring, tracing the calm that the breezes bring. Late night windows glowing gold, casting warm signals that never grow old. Steps drift slower yet stay in tune, gliding in rhythm with the floating moon. Street lamp warm spreads faint and thin, mixing with breath as the beats begin. Night breeze strider on a measured throw, keeping the city in a gentle flow. Wind line hum, rising slow, carrying secrets where striders go. Pulse dip softly in a mellow blend, stretching the night that will never end. Hands reach upward in a fading draw, catching the glow that the breezes saw. Last wave lifts with a tranquil ease, folding the groove into midnight breeze. Night breeze try to blow, move that line. Cool air cutting through the city's spine. Brass bursts glowing in a moonlit frame, filling the alleys with a burning flame. Night breeze try to flow, clean and fast, riding that rhythm till the midnight's past. When silence settles in the glowing air, that strider rhythm still lingers there. Night breeze calling soft and low, guiding each dream where the rhythms go. Woo! Yeah. Woo! Tight step shuffle on a narrow cut walk, rhythm keeps speaking in a backbeat talk. Pocket stays deep with a grounded glow, every hit landing in a perfect flow. Heat drifts upward from the midday stone, marking each groove with the carved out tone. Hands flick sharp in a balanced way, driving the pulse through the inner day. Hold that center, keep the pressure turning, match that timing, keep the pocket burning. Weight on the heel and the soul returning. Drop right in, keep the pocket burning, keep the pocket burning right on time. Groove locked tight in a diamond line, brass strings heavy with a swaggered call, throwing thick shadows on the alley wall. Keep the pocket burning, steady and bold, riding that fire through the heart of the foe. North, south, snare snaps crisp like a snapping wire. Bassline pushes with the slow burn fire. Guitar chops bright in a stuttered clip, cut in wild shapes in a sideways dip. Sidewalk hum, winds around our stands, pulling each dancer deeper into trance. Small crowd gathers in a tightening ring, waiting for the pocket just to swing. Hold that center, keep the pressure turning, match that time and keep the pocket burning. Weight on the heel and the soul returning. Drop right in, keep the pocket burning, keep the pocket burning right on time. Groove locked tight in a diamond line, brass rings heavy with a swagger call, throwing thick shadows on the alley wall. Keep the pocket burning, steady and bold, riding that fire through the heart of the foe. Heat shakes lightly in a sunlit drift, turn in the moment in the rhythm it lives. Echoes bounce back from a steel side door, layering pulses on the worn down floor. Melody threads through the alley bend, pulling each heartbeat toward the blend. Boot steps answer in a staggered play, rolling their patterns through the day. Pocket stays glowing like a live cold flame, feeding the engine with a steady aim. Hands rise slowly, drifting apart, guiding the groove with the quiet heart. Drum it settle with the molten touch, spreading warm tension that never's too much. Pocket keeps burning with a measured glow, setting the pace in a grounded flow. Hold that center, keep the pressure turning, match that time and keep the pocket burning. Weight on the heel and the soul returning. Drop right and keep the pocket burning, keep the pocket burning right on time. Groove locked tight in a diamond line, brass rings heavy with a swaggered call, throwing thick shadows on the alley wall. Keep the pocket burning, steady and bold, riding that fire through the heart of the foe. Yeah, 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 yeah. Late day shadows stretch stretch across the groove. Marking slow changes in the way we move. Bass curls deeper with a glowing slide, pulling the beat to the outer side. Street lights flicker in a pulsing wing, sensing their rhythm with the way we think. Footsteps change, but the pocket stays, holding the fire through the drifting haze. Warm sparks scatter in a muted breeze, blending with echoes from the city keys. Hands cut circles in the glowing spin, pulling the pulse from deep within. Pocket flame rising in the final sweep, marking the moment that the beat runs deep. Every strong heartbeat keeps returning to the center spot. Keep the pocket burning, keep the pocket burning, right on time. Groove locked tight in a diamond line. Brass rings heavy with the swagger call, throwing thick shadows on the alley wall. Keep the pocket burning, steady and bold, riding that fire through the heart of the fold. Yeah, even when the alley cools and fades, the pocket keeps growing in hidden shades, burning alive in a low-key yearning. Deep in the heart, keep the pocket burning.
Soul engine overdrive, fire in the lane. Groove hits harder than a downtown train. Brass lines roaring with the lightning drive, kicking every heartbeat back alive. Soul engine overdrive, we shake the street. Power keeps rising with the molten beat. Sunburned skyline arching overhead, casting long shadows in a tinted thread. Heat lines ripple on a cobalt sign, guiding our motion down the engine line. Boot steps crackle like a fuse gone wild, drum tap steady with the folk style. Traffic converges with the vinyl hits, turning the block to an urban abyss. Slide that spirit in the sharp and stride, feel that pressure build and rise, shifting the motion where the rhythms thrive. Fire it, engine overdrive. Soul engine overdrive, fire in the lane. Groove hits harder than a downtown train. Brass lines roaring with the lightning drive, kicking every heartbeat back alive. Soul engine overdrive, we shake the street. Power keeps rising with the molten beat. Metal shutters rattle in a rising gust. Nightfall flex through the daylight dust. Head still forward with the grounded pride, tracing the groove with the measured glide. Street drum players pound on painted steel, sending out waves you can almost feel. Each track echoes through the midday fold, turning each corner into burning gold. Gyre shifts snapping with the sudden spark, leading the beat through the turning dark. Hands spread wide in the glowing arc, marking the path like a ribbon mark. Thick waves rolling from a brass bone flame, stamping the name through the city frame. Motion bursting with the titan drive, fueling our run to keep the pulse alive. Slide that spirit in the sharp and stride, feel that pressure build and rise, shifting the motion where the rhythms thrive. Fire it up, engine overdrive. Soul engine overdrive, fire in the lane. Groove hits harder than a downtown train. Brass lines roaring with the lightning drive, kicking every heartbeat back alive. Soul engine overdrive, we shake the street. Power keeps rising with the molten beat. Yeah. High-rise edges glow in a molten hue, echo and signals from the avenue. Crowds pull closer in a humming swell, drawn by the rhythm like a city spell. Hands snap sharply in a coded rhyme, pushing the pulse through a double time. Bass curls thick with the smoky spin, pulling each dancer tightly in. Faint brass flickers in the sweeping rise, rattling loose bolts of fading skies. Drum breaks scatter in a frantic burst, kicking up dust from the city crust. Guitar lines slice with the serrated pride, spreading wild streaks on the engine side. Whip and sparks scatter on the block's far end, calling the beat like an old-time friend. Last wave surge as the daylight dips, lifting the crowd with electric grips. Groove pours faster through the heavy drive, pushing each heartbeat back alive. Hands raised boldly in a final climb, marking the moment in a heated time. Soul engine roaring through the fading light, running full force into the night. Soul engine overdrive, fire in the lane. Groove hits harder than a downtown train. Brass lines roaring with the lightning drive, kicking every heartbeat back alive. Soul engine overdrive, we shake the street. starts to slide. That engine hum stays deep inside. Soul engine overdrive, never slow. Fueling the rhythm wherever we go.
Set crack, pushing the party through the coldest sack. Hands slide wide with a fired up swing, marking each turn like a ruling king. Baseline prowls with a heavy stride, pulling the crowd to the party side. Shift that rhythm, make it climb, lock the motion into time. Drive the groove with a bold uplift, hit the block with a party gear shift. Block party gear shift, turn that spark. Groove cracks loud in the glowing dark. Brass pass upward with a shouted call, rattling echoes across the wall. Block party gear shift, bold and clear. Pulling the whole town atmosphere. Lantern lights flicker on wooden beams, coloring laughter with golden gleams. Boot steps slide in a rolling thread, bouncing the patterns as the beats are spread. Guitar cut sharply in a sideways flick, driving the motion clean and quick. Hands carve signs in a rapid spark, leading the pulse through the shifting dark. Shift that rhythm, make it climb, lock the motion into time. Drive the groove with a bold uplift, hit the block with the party gear shift. Block party gear shift, turn that spark. Groove cracks loud in the glowing dark. Brass blasts upward with a shouted call, rattling warm echoes across the wall. Block party gear shift, bold and clear. Pulling the whole town atmosphere. One night breeze curls between the chairs, mixing with rhythms and dancing airs. Voices melt softly into one big tone, rolling like thunder on cobblestone. Bass digs deeper with a burrow glide, pushing the vibe to the outer side. Drum hits jump in a double stroke, sending the crowd through a laughing choke. Shift climbs high with a blazing pull, dragging each dancer into something full. Hands rise bright in a lifted sweep, pulling the party from deep to deep. Shouts ring loud in a neon burn, calling each heartbeat to return. Gear shift turning in a rising flight, driving the block through the glowing night. Shift that rhythm, make it climb, lock the motion into time. Drive the groove with a bold uplift, hit the block with a party gear shift. Block party gear shift, turn that spark. Groove cracks loud in the glowing dark. Brass blasts upward with a shouted call, rattling warm echoes across the wall. Block party gear shift, bold and clear. Pulling the whole town atmosphere. Near midnight glow spreads a warmer tone, drifting like honey across cobblestone. Hands glide slowly in swirling arcs, tracing the leftover alley sparks. Baseline thickens with a low inside, merging with smoke drifting through the sky. Air shift hum rolling soft and low, guiding the party where the winds all go. Heat drop gently in a fading sweep, rocking the block into something deep. Motion cruising to a molten glide, holding the rhythm at the mellow side. Hands rest lightly with a quiet spin, letting the echo settle in. Gear shift whisper closing slow, marking the end of the block side show. Block party gear shift, turn that spark. Groove cracks loud in the glowing dark. Brass blast upward with a shouted call, rattling warm echoes across the wall. Block party gear shift, bold and clear. Pulling the whole town atmosphere. Even when footsteps fade away, that block side gear shift wants to stay. Rolling its echo soft and straight, living forever in the midnight dream.
in a copper gleam. Shadows bend along in a drifting stream. Footsteps sync with the mellow heat, marking soft patterns along the street. Bassline hums with a softened thrust, carving slow waves through the glowing dust. Hands sway gently in a tempered mood, shaping the rhythm with a mellow attitude. Let that sunlight guide the motion, melt right into a slow devotion. Feel that shimmer rolling wide, pulling you deep to the golden side. Golden hour beat strikes like the scene. Glow spills down in a tangerine. Brass hits soaring in a warm and cry, dragging each heartbeat toward the sky. Golden hour beat strikes loud and free, rolling bright fire through the avenue. See, afternoon drifts in a softened hue, mixing warm amber with sky blue. Guitar cuts lightly with a feather tone, brushing the air like a breeze full blown. Street lamp posts catch an early shine, marking each post in a golden line. Hands brush clouds in a slow ascent, tracing the beat with the peak content. Glow line rising in a gentle climb, beating soft hearts into refined time. Sun spills slowly through shifting frames, lighting the block with the gentle flames. Rhythm curls softly through the haze, warming the edges of the fading day. Beat strikes echo in a mellow fall, coloring every last urban wall. Let that sunlight guide the motion, melt right into a slow devotion. Feel that shimmer rolling wide, pulling you deep to the golden side. Golden hour beat strikes like the scene. Glow spills down in a tangerine. Brass hits soaring in a warming cry, dragging each heartbeat toward the sky. Golden hour beat strikes loud and free, rolling bright fire through the avenue. See, crowds gather slowly in the softened light, sharing warm smiles as day meets night. Hand drives drift in a lazy spin, echoing faintly as the beats begin. Bass lips deeper with a smooth release, rolling calm waves into gentle peace. Wind carries laughter from the distant square, blending faint melodies into the air. Just climb settles in a scarlet slide, coloring rooftops on either side. Guitar snaps brighter in a dying gleam, painting warm pieces of a fading dream. Hands carve patterns in a golden sweep, pulling the moment from deep to deep. Beat strikes soften in a honey glow, guiding the night to its final show. Sun slash spark fading slow, leaving a trail where the rhythms go. Warm falls gently through the breeze, settling softly between the trees. Beat line whisper closing thin, pulling the glow from deep within. Golden hour drifting clear, landing the heartbeat here to hear. Golden hour beat strikes like the sea. Glow spills down in a tangerine. Brass hits soaring in a warming cry, dragging each heartbeat toward the sky. Our beat strikes loud and free, rolling bright fire through the avenue. See, even when darkness steals the hue, golden hour echo stay with you. Soft beat lingering low and bright, carrying the warmth into the night. vapor in a narrow cut run.
Vapor in a narrow cut run. Groove snaps quick in the absence of sun. Break line forming on a cracked stone trail. Wind slaps rhythm like a driven nail. Boot steps, trigger sparks in the shade, marking the beat that the day has made. Sidebars glowing in a crimson tint, throwing bold shadows with the sharpened hand. Lean in closer, let the backbeat steer. Fever burns bright when the pathway's clear. Break line rising with the rugged cheer. Pulling tight, bring the rhythm here. Backstreet break line fever, tearing through the zone. Pulse hits heavy in a raw cut tone. Brass bursts upward in a blazing roar, stirring up heat from the concrete floor. Backstreet break line fever, wild and free, riding that wave through the inner city. Chain link fences rattle with the static kiss. Kicks hit strong in a forceful twist. Guitar slices bright like neon blade, cutting our path through the alley shade. Hands gesture sharp in the code of reply, mapping the route as the beat rolls by. Dust flies upward in a fractured spin, moving in sync with the urban din. Lean in closer, let the backbeat steer. Fever burns bright when the pathway's clear. Break line rising with a rugged cheer. Pulling tight, bring the rhythm here. Backstreet break line fever, tearing through the zone. Pulse hits heavy in a raw cut tone. Brass bursts upward in a blazing roar, stirring up heat from the concrete floor. Backstreet break line fever, wild and free, riding that wave through the inner city. Yeah. Tactile corners force a tight turn bound, every shift echoing a stubborn sound. Strip light beams flicker overhead, painting wild shapes where our footsteps tread. Low end hum creeping under steel, guiding each snap with the grinding feel. Crew lines up in a widespread stance, bringing raw energy into each advance. Fever snaps upward like a sudden flame, break line moving in a shifting frame. Hands clap sharply on the passing air, drawing rough sketches with the gritty flair. Walls shake lightly with the bassline shove, throwing back echoes in a heavy wave of love. Break line fever cutting loud and clear, dragging the pulse ever closer here. Lean in closer, let the backbeat steer. Fever burns bright when the pathway's clear. Break line rising with the rugged cheer. Pulling tight, bring the rhythm here. Backstreet break line fever, tearing through the zone. Pulse hits heavy in a raw cut tone. Brass bursts upward in a blazing roar, stirring up heat from the concrete floor. Backstreet break line fever, wild and free, riding that wave through the inner city. Rooftop watchers nod to the pace, tracking each shift in the alley chase. Pavement trembles in a forceful slide, dragging wild patterns on the inner side. Skateboard wheels rattle on metal rails, beating out rhythms like coded tales. Stretched out movement with the heated glow, weaving through shadows in a fiery flow. Sun drops lower with the molten streak, casting red glimmers across the breakbeat chic. Heartbeats striking in a double time, carving bold stories into every rhyme. Backstreet fever, thick as the lane, pulling each dancer deep into the strain. Motion spins outward in a widening cone, marking the alley as a pulsing zone. Backstreet break line fever, tearing through the zone. Pulse hits heavy in a raw cut tone. Brass bursts upward in a blazing roar, stirring up heat from the concrete floor. Backstreet break line fever, wild and free, riding that wave through the inner city. When the alley quiets and the shadows climb, the fever still lingers in a timeless rhyme. Backstreet break line fever, never done, echoing strong to the setting sun. Oh!
Down a narrow cut lane, drum hits fierce like a runaway train. Boomtown murmur rising under steel beams, every beat sharper than the nighttime gleam. Side door chatter popping like fresh ignition. Crew stands ready with the bold precision.
jumps high when the brakes all crash. Raise that tempo, keep the snap in place. Shift that posture, join the sudden race. Boomtown calling with the heated embrace. Step in closer for the rhythm chase. Boomtown rhythm chase, we run the line. Groove surges forward in a fierce incline. Brass calls loud from a rooftop stage, shaking every heartbeat page by page. Boomtown rhythm chase, we cut that air. Funk rides heavy with the rebel's flair. Ricocheting brick red walls, flashlit gesture signal secret calls. Bass girls thick like a summer storm roll. Guitar slice quick with the mind control goal. Hats tilt low with the sharp edge grin. Strut game heavy from the moment we begin. Dust kicks up from the heated glide. All momentum shifting with the turning tide. Raise that tempo, keep the snap in place. Shift that posture, join the sudden race. Boomtown calling with the heated embrace. Step in closer for the rhythm chase. Boomtown rhythm chase, we run the line. Groove surges forward in a fierce incline. Brass calls loud from a rooftop stage, shaking every heartbeat page by page. Boomtown rhythm chase, we cut that air. Funk rides heavy with the rebel's flair. Spirals down the block, boots hit stone in a rapid fire knock. Flow keeps changing with the shifting scene. Every angle jumping like a split screen dream. Hands flip upward as the crossroads glow. What makes them rising in a sudden throw? Boomtown's heartbeat keeps the chase alive. Through every corner where the rhythms thrive. Boomtown rhythm chase, we run the line. Groove surges forward in a fierce incline. Brass calls out from a rooftop stage, shaking every heartbeat page by page. Boomtown rhythm chase, we cut that air. Funk rise heavy with the rebels. Sparks fade slowly as we end the race, but the rhythm still lingers with the warm embrace. Boomtown rhythm chase, forever with tide. Every pulse a reminder of the wild inside. Old stone pavement, warm and cracked, carving out stories the city stacked. Bootstep shuffle with a mellow glide, riding the echoes down the avenue side. Hands drift loose with a swaying flick, letting the rhythm settle and thick. Bassline prowls with a steady pride, crippling the flow to the funk cry side. Slide that motion through the frame. Old stone rhythm knows no name. Feel that heartbeat settle wide. Step right into the funk ride. Old Stone Avenue funk ride, roll that tone. Groove cuts deep through the cobblestone. Brass line flashing with a wandering cry, marking the skyline low and high. Old Stone Avenue funk ride, slow and clear, dragging warm echoes from year to year. The one-door awning flapping a summer drift, handful of voices giving subtle lift. Guitar strokes humming a mellow slide, brushing the dust on the avenue's pride. Drum taps roll with a vintage heat, shaping the pattern of midday's beat. Hands wave lightly in a looping curl, guiding the flow through the turning world. Slide that motion through the frame. Old Stone rhythm knows no name. Feel that heartbeat settle wide. Step right into the funk ride. Old Stone Avenue funk ride, roll that tone. Groove cuts deep through the cobblestone. Brass line flashing with a wandering cry, marking the skyline
spreading its warmth in the afternoon hush. Hand wet, scattering a shaking drift, giving each moment a subtle lift. Footsteps circle with a softened slide, keeping the rhythm at our side. The sun spills gold on the avenue crown, painting warm streaks as the night comes down. Groove folds inward with a tender sweep, pulling our stride from deep to deep. Hands reach slowly in a rising arc, catching the glow as it meets the dark. Funk ride humming with a mellow shine, marking our path in a steady line. Slide that motion through the frame, old stone rhythm knows no name. Feel that heartbeat settle wide, step right into the funk ride. Old Stone Avenue funk ride, roll that tone. Groove cuts deep through the cobblestone. BASSLINE flashing with a wandering cry, marking the skyline low and high. Old Stone Avenue funk ride, slow and clear, dragging warm echo from year to year. Evening hum thickens with a velvet glow, slow in each motion in the mellow flow. Hands brush lightly in a drifting trace, guiding the night in a smoother space. Bassline whispers in a low inside, blending with stars that climb the sky. Old Stone calm, wrapping tight, pulling the block in the gentle night. Echoes tumble in a quiet spin, gathering warmth from deep within. Funk ride rolls in a softened sweep, soothing the city in slumber deep. Hands shape shadows in a fading curve, keeping the rhythm the night will serve. Old Stone breeze slides soft and wide, holding the groove on the avenue side. Old Stone Avenue funk ride, roll that tone. Groove cuts deep through the cobblestone. BASSLINE flashing with a wandering cry, marking the sky low and high. Old Stone Avenue funk ride, slow and clear, dragging warm echoes from year to year. Even when daylight starts to hide, you'll still hear that avenue funk ride, marked in stone and night's cool air, grooving forever. Always there. Yeah! Whoa, 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 woo! Steel frame towers stretch above a stride, casting deep shadows on the city wide. Bounce, walk, cadence, hit the concrete clean, rolling bright motion through the urban sheen. Hands snap sharply in a coat of flame, moving each moment in a shifting frame. Bassline thump with a stubborn pride, driving our steps on the steel walk side. Slide that rhythm in a heart and groove, feel the steel city start to move. Bounce, walk, rising with a gritty talk, strong on the beat, steel city bounce walk. Steel city bounce walk, ringing through the lane. Groove drops heavy like a midnight train. Brass cut sharply with a burning call, spreading back echoes so across the wall. Steel city bounce walk, loud and clean, riding that motion through the urban scene. Pipe rack shadows tilting a fractured line, bouncing reflections in a cobalt shine. Boots drag sparks from the textured stone, leaving warm signatures all their own. Guitar snaps bright in the back door arc, light and faint shapes in the creep